Ooh, got him.
How do I get rid of this?
This is another segment we do where I ask how the guest's day is when we try to figure this out. How's your day, Brevin?
Technical difficulties.
My day's going great so far.
Love it. Welcome back, everyone, to the fourth episode of the Student Media Open to Suggestions podcast. I'm your co-host, Deacon, joined with...
I'm Evan Couch. We are back at it. Got a special guest with us today. He is the one and only Brevin Ross. Some of you have, you may have seen him around campus asking some really wild questions at times for the Observer, because that's what he does. He is the Observer photographer. He does things like Wildcat Words, and he brings to life really visually stunning pictures for a lot of the stories that we at the Observer release. Brevin, how's it going today, my friend?
It's going good. Thankful that it's actually starting to cool down. I'm sick and tired of the heat.
I've been waiting for this weather. It's still, I'm sweating.
A little warm.
I'm sweating right now.
Yeah, we're wearing 4 layers.
I'm wearing a vest. I got a hoodie. I got the beating on. Because when I walk to class in the morning, it is about 38 degrees sometimes. Yeah. But then, when you start walking back to class and you get home, it's about 75 degrees.
Yeah.
So there's about a 40-degree jump in there throughout the day.
You need like a pit crew, honestly, to keep changing your outfits every single day.
Take this off and stand up. But yeah, glad you joined us, Brevin. Cool, unique situation we got going here, as Brevin is my roommate, actually.
Yeah.
I've known Brevin.
Go on.
I've known Brevin my whole life, basically. So, but hey, this isn't the Observer. Okay, this isn't CNW. There's no conflict of interest here. Mm-hmm. This is a Student Media Open to Suggestions podcast.
Yeah, man.
Where we can bring on whoever we want because we run this dang show.
Yeah, we do. It's almost bringing together a superheroic team of all facets of media here. We got the Observer, we got the podcast, we got the both. He does everything here, and this guy is getting pictures of everyone and their mother. He's a jack of all trades.
That is true. The man behind the lens.
Speaking of which, how did you even get tell a story about how you got the Observer job, because you, as I know, and Deacon might not know, you're not majoring in anything student media related.
Nothing at all, really. I'm in the STEM teaching program. Shout out to the STEM teaching program. So with that, you kind of double major. So the teaching program is one major, and then your other one is for example, mine's middle level science. So those tie together to be like a middle school level science teacher, or maybe like a lower high school level science teacher. And then my minor is in digital marketing. And so I chose that because I've always, not always, but in the previous years, I've gotten more into the photography scene. After graduating high school, that was just something I picked up with the extra time. And then through knowing Evan, who, works with the Observer, there was a position that opened for the photographer. And I just thought it would be a good opportunity to grow in that field. It's okay, now I can actually try to learn skills and not just do freelancing, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome.
On top of it, you get to make a little dough.
Yeah, I do. It is a paid position,
which is nice. And I think that was definitely part of the enticing recruitment that I did whenever I got Brevin to join Observer. Yeah. But other than that, he's a good photographer, so
not bad.
It is. The paid part did help, but because it was just difficult, because not being in the communications or journalism thing, it's just kind of really out of the ordinary. But it was just a cool experience, and I'm really enjoying it, actually. It's a great way to meet new people.
That's awesome. Sure. Well, Peter Parker, where does the interest in photography come from?
Okay, so in the past maybe 4 years, I've really gotten into the mountain biking scene, and I kind of got inspiration from other people from our town, and just in that mountain bike scene, there's a lot of photography in it, and and I really enjoyed seeing the lifestyle of people taking the photos of. You see the cool athletes doing the crazy things, but then there's also that person behind the lens taking that photo and trying to tell a story with it. And there was a camera just laying around our house, and I decided it'd be really cool to try it out. And then with that camera, I kind of started making my own videos and meeting new people through it. And then, so I guess through mountain biking, really, and kind of more of the outdoor scenes.
How much does a camera actually like limit you or give you the ability to make some of the stuff that you make? Because I know you upgraded your camera recently and you said that was like game changing. Like how much does that actually affect what you do? Not just in the observer and taking photos for stories, but just the actual projects that you yourself work on.
So like nowadays cameras are so crazy. It's kind of like you can just grab anyone and it'll be good. But the first camera I was using was pretty dated. And this it was the sensor was just really outdated. So it was less defined photos. And recently I just upgraded to a Sony Alpha 6300, which is that camera still came out in like 2015 or 16. So I mean, I guess technically you could call it outdated, but it's really up to date with the specs. But really, like upgrading cameras nowadays, it's just all about making more efficient work. So like, I mean, there's a lot of people that love to shoot with film cameras still, or really basic things. That's just kind of their scene. But really upgrading the camera, which is making life more efficient and less work that I had to put in to get the photo. Now it just kind of does it itself. I really have no skill in the position.
Well, taking photos sounds like for you it's glitz and glamour, but I know it can't be all that great. What's the best and worst part about working, like not working for the observer, but about your position specifically? Because obviously there is things that are bad or not necessarily bad, or things that you might not enjoy so much whenever working for any position. Not that I want you to talk trash about the observer, because you and I both we have an in, and obviously we'll know, but like I could tell you what I like least about my position. So what's the best thing you like and what's the thing you like least about working, just doing the kind of work that you do?
So the best is probably like it forces me to get out and meet new people and be at new events.
For sure.
I obviously like I want to meet new people and things, but now that I'm actually forced there to be, take photographs, it makes me have to be there. But I really enjoyed that though, because I look back, I'm like, okay, I actually had fun at the time, or I met new people through it, and so it kind of pushes me to get out of the comfort zone and try new things. I would say the worst thing is just the pressure that kind of comes with it. Like you want to do your best, and photography is kind of, what do they always say? Like art is subjective or something like that. Like it's really up.
Subjective.
And so like I could take a photo and I think it's really good, but someone who wants to use it for the newspaper is like, I could have saw something better. And it's also really difficult for someone's story, and then now you're trying to make the visuals for someone else's story. So because they already have their idea of what they want it to look like. So now I'm trying to match that, which makes it kind of difficult. So I guess it's expectations make it kind of a struggle sometimes, but I enjoy it no matter what.
With your two different, with like the outdoor side of things, and then obviously with the observer, you're taking pictures of a lot of different stuff. Do you feel like there's crossover when you're in that mindset, or do you think it's completely different when you're taking pictures?
I guess the only crossover really is just trying new things. Like, you find some things that work all the time. So like, okay, no matter what, if I need to nail this type of photo for this event, I know what I need to do. But in both, there's always like that opportunity, like, oh, let's try a different angle, let's try a different like lens, different zoomed in, zoomed out, just trying new things. And yeah, and both those scenes, there's always like that opportunity to try something new.
What's the hardest event to shoot? Like when you get assigned to go and take pictures for a story, what are always like the toughest ones that you have to do?
I would say the ones that I least look forward to, I guess that would be the same type answer, is like pictures of very open events, like walk in, walk out events, because there's no one to really focus on. It's just a crowd of people in a big area, and it's hard to make those make those photos for each story different, because really they just look like another crowd of people outside of a building.
Yeah.
So what makes that event special, and like trying to involve that into the photo.
How do you get it to fit the narrative of the story? Like if all the pictures look the same, how do you work the angle of taking photos to fit the narrative of the story that the reporter or the writer is trying to tell?
Take for example your Wildfest coverage.
Yeah, we'll throw that
Yeah.
up on there.
Yeah. So like definitely you're focusing on like the big things about the story, and that involves kind of like people. So like I recently did a story with it was like a concert right up the road from our place. And I'm like, okay, right now this just looks like a field of people, but a group of people in a field. And that could look like an event that looks right at, like the same outside the Cirque, or that could look like Wildfest. Or so I guess like in that you want to focus on the artist, because that's what makes that event special, is the artist. And then if you're at, like I went to Wellington's wildfire thing to take photos. Okay, so like what makes that event special? Well, we have the wildfire, we have the band playing, we have this. So what makes the event special is what I look for.
Probably Wellington being there, if I had to guess.
Wellington
In
too.
the name,
Some epic action shots of him posing.
getting his hands
Yeah.
all cozy up to the fire, sitting here like
Yeah.
this.
Question for you: do you think Wellington's one person?
Ooh.
No,
No,
like-
I don't think so, because I saw job listings for him the other day, and I was like, so I'm just gonna out it right there. If you guys want to go on the community job page, 15.50 an
You
hour, I
could be
believe.
Wellington.
you just broke so many Central students' hearts right there.
I'm just
Yeah,
a realist,
you-
man. I don't know what to tell you. I was thinking about applying for it, but then I'm like, that is gonna be hot. I don't care what time of the year it is. That is not gonna be enjoyable.
What are the prerequisites to become Wellington? Like, would you have to go to clown school or something?
Santa Claus in the winter,
Like,
right there.
you have to take like a PE class as like a prerequisite to get into
You've
that
got to
job.
be fit, I would
Yeah.
assume.
What does this person say? This person's going to be, this person applies for Wellington and this person applies for Wellington. What does this person have that's going to get them the job that this person doesn't have to get in the
200-pound bench, maybe like a good 40-yard dash.
Is Wellington hucking humans? What's he doing?
Well, he's with the cheer squad, right? Like all the time,
I don't
and
think
you're constantly walking around.
you're allowed to touch people. I think you have to. I
Yeah, I
think
don't
you
know.
have to engage with Wellington. I don't think he can come up and give you a hug. I
Maybe
think
we get him on the pod, him or her.
he's just sitting
yeah.
here.
You have to be good with heat too. Probably gets hot in
There's
there.
my Wellington impression. That's my
Yeah.
I'm getting my foot in the door.
Wellington's a mime.
Well, what's the editing process like for you?
Yeah, back
being
on
a
track.
photographer.
Dang it.
For photography,
Hold on,
since
let me narrow it down. What's the editing process like specifically for like news stories
Yes.
or stories as it relates to the Observer?
I like that.
Because I think it's different than what you would be doing on your own.
Yes.
yeah, so specifically with news stuff, you don't need like an outstanding, you want an attention grabber. And so, I mean, really for just editing with the news, it's just messing with lighting and maybe some colors every once in a while. But there's never like serious Photoshop, like blocking something out of the background, or because that's not real. And you want to be real with the news. So it's just like coloring and lighting.
That's good.
Deacon, you know what time it is?
Oh, I think it's time to check the pulse, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh,
Somewhere
check
on
the
this
pulse.
up here.
We're doing this a little differently, huh? Check the pulse. So we check the pulses when we get listener questions, and some of them can be submitted specifically for our guests that we have on, and others can just be for us in general that you are also allowed to answer. We got 2 questions here from our listeners. Well, the first one is, give me a second, let me pull it up. Like I said, it's a ragtag show.
Are
This
these
one is for-
specific to me?
the first one is specific to you. So Deacon and I can't answer
Mhm.
this one because I've never held a camera in my life and done anything useful with one. So what are your favorite things to photograph outside of the Observer? And obviously we touched on a little bit. So like go to first thing that comes to your head whenever you're outside taking pictures that don't have to do with the Observer.
Sunsets and flowers. Oh, and stars too. I love taking
Cool.
star photos at night,
Cool.
especially because where we're from, Evan, is we have a very low light pollution, so there's always a good chance to take photos of stars. D-town represent.
Darrington, you can see the stars for miles out in
Yeah, that's
Darrington. It's
cool.
actually pretty cool. If it's like a clear summer night, you can kind of see like the galaxy and like the different like I don't know terms and whatnot. Oh, I thought you were gonna show us something there. You're teasing me.
I do have one on the wall, but it wasn't coming off.
I was gonna pull one down, the one that we have hung up here, but I didn't think about it. This
Oh,
one,
yeah.
this one is kind of for Deacon and I, honestly.
Yeah.
How did the Student Media Podcast come about? And
Well, it's really funny that this happened because we talked about it last week, and then apparently Evan and I were experiencing massive blocks of amnesia.
We don't even remember, honestly.
It was about a year ago around this time that we talked about it for sure, and you're the one that initiated the idea. Because we all know you're the podcast man.
I am indeed the front man. No, just kidding.
So
Couldn't do it without you.
I don't know how it happened, but
here I'll tell my side of the story.
Sure.
So I get, first time back on campus since, the world shut down because of, COVID and whatnot. First time back on campus, I am taking a class with our faculty advisor, Jen Green, and it was a class about story writing for like articles and whatnot. That leads me to go to the Observer in the winter quarter.
Yep.
And that's my first quarter with the Observer. So I start writing for the Observer. And at the time, I don't remember how it got brought up initially, but Jen came to me, and just based on like interests that I was speaking to her about in the past, she said she thought it'd be really cool for me to start up the Student Media Podcast again, which we'd mentioned many times before was already a thing, and it was run by a different host. So she mentioned it to me. I was like, hey, that's a great idea. I would love to do that. That's right up my alley. That's kind of what I want to get into. I went to Deacon because Deacon is in the same program as I am, and I'm with Deacon all the time. So I was like, hey, we could do this for like credits,
And then we were in the library at that time. That's the first time I remember hearing about it for sure.
I was like,
we mark that.
Like we could get pulse credits, possibly internship credits. And that's kind of how it came about. It was really just the opportunity came to us, and Jen has been so great about opening the floor to us and really letting us take the reins and do kind of whatever our hearts desire, as long as it's in the realm of student media and if it can relate somehow. So I've had a lot of freedom with it, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've been enjoying it because every week we get to talk to some pretty cool people or some pretty average people like Brevin here.
Yeah, super collaborative. Jen's giving us great feedback, and let us do our thing. So I'm very happy about that. It just took a while for it to come to fruition, so I'm glad that it finally did. We started brainstorming a lot that day, and then we had a couple quarters, and then came back in the spring.
We've had enough feedback. I mean, we've got segments on the show now. Segments like this next one that we like to call Share Your Screen Thoughts. I came up with that name, and it's pretty clever if you ask me. Brevin, this is the segment where I will share my screen with you, and then I want you to just kind of give us the thoughts about this. This is Brevin's personal instinct.
Okay. Oh, that one's good. Top left.
Everything we talked about so far with Brevin and his photography can be seen right here. And look at this beautiful picture of Brevin.
Let's give a plug for your handle here.
Little fern. Yeah, give Brevin a follow. Brevin, what's your handle?
As you can see right at the top right there, it's just my name and all lowercase. Brevin Ross. Makes it easy.
Yeah, I'm not special enough to have just my name.
Actually, if you look right there, the first like is Evan Couch 33.
Oh, not bad.
That is me. Once again, conflict of interest between the two of us, but we're allowed to do what we want on this show. Here's Brevin's truck. Like, I'm just gonna skim through this kind of slowly here.
Yeah.
Here's a video. This is the other side of it. You do some videography with your personal life and the things that you like to do, like mountain biking, like you mentioned before. And that's like that. Those are good shots. Like, how do you go about setting that up? Like, what's the process of taking each one of these shots? You got to grab the camera, hike back up.
So it's actually super tedious. So every single one of those shots, maybe they're like 2 seconds to like 3 seconds.
Right.
The actual video length is like maybe 1:30 to 2 minutes, because I set the camera up in the frame that I like, and then I make sure the lighting's right, and then I make sure all my settings are good. And then I start the film, run up the hill, go as fast as I can by it, and then hop off, run back, and stop it. And that's just for one frame.
There ever been a time where you went down there and then you realized that you weren't recording for like a couple of the shots and you just wanted to throw something?
I've had any opportunity, like any outcome happen. Like, not recording, or like it is recording, you checked, and then you go up there and you come back and the camera died, or that's a really annoying one, or it starts to rain, or the audio is wrong, or just a bunch of different things that could happen. But I actually really enjoy being up there.
Okay, what's one feat or trick you want to capture on video next time you're out there doing your thing?
What's like a specific thing I want to capture?
Yeah.
Here we got some stars.
I had like a video idea, like just talking about like a solo trip into the mountains, just kind of being by myself alone. And so the idea of it is it's really simple. It's just me, bike, and a camera. That's
Boys
it.
back home.
I like it. Solitary.
Here we go. More
Solitude.
flowers. See, like this is I mean, your Instagram is to a T essentially what you said you like shooting, and that is sunsets, outdoors and flowers and stars and stuff like that. I mean, we could go through all these here and you'll find it. Here's the truck again.
Yeah, that's good branding. The social media, digital marketing, man, that's finest.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
clip.
Yeah, that's how I got into digital marketing, is trying to like advertise things. And I've only worked with a couple companies, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just a cool scene, I think.
On the flip side of that, for the not so personal projects, we've got, all right, come on. Don't do this to me now. Give me a second here. Come on. Why are you doing this?
See Wu Tag in the bio too.
Ooh, got him.
How do I get rid of this?
This is another segment we do where I
You
ask
can't
how
get rid of me.
the guest day is when we try to figure
Well,
this out.
Evan
How's your day,
has
Brevin?
technical difficulties.
My day's going great so
I love
far.
it.
Here, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna manually override the system here. Go
Oh,
back in here.
hacking into the mainframe, is he?
Okay, back on to share your screen thoughts here. On the flip side, you've got stuff like this, whereas this is your actual work for the Observer. And obviously, this was some photos that you took for my story here. Here are some.
Yep.
Is this blurriness done in editing, or is that done in the actual photo taking process?
That's just with the actual photo.
So your camera is way cooler than my iPhone, basically.
It's just focal length, and so like f-stops, and so like that's like a thing with photography is like f1.8 is what I shot that with, and that's like makes your background really blurry and stuff like that. Or like an f10 makes everything kind of clear.
All right, now as I skim through here, same kind of shots. You've got the chain and focus, as that was kind of the there it is, fitting the narrative. Once again, fitting the narrative of the story I was trying to tell about the recreation sports complex and it's stopping drop-in hours. You know, I thought it'd be really cool for Brevin to get in there and get a shot of the lock with the field locked up in the background, and that's exactly what he did.
Is this story out, or is this a sneak peek?
Oh, it'll be out by the time this comes out.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So what's today? Today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday.
It is Wednesday,
now, actually. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Brevin's working on whenever he's, you see photos. Sometimes photos in the Observer are from Brevin. Most of the time they are. Often reporters will take their own photos, but that's what we got Brevin for. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, that is me.
That is you. Brevin, is there anything that you would like to add? Anything you want to tell the people about you, or let the people know about any projects that you're working on, possibly that they'll see on the Instagram, maybe, or maybe some upcoming ideas that you would like to bring to the Observer?
I guess, I mean, I just kind of live day by day, really. I don't really plan anything. If you see me on campus, say hi. I'm a really open person. I hate that with campus nowadays. Everyone's just got AirPods in, heads down on phone. I'm like, man, it's kind of a bummer. So yeah.
I am.
Well, what do you want people to say when they see you? Just, hey, what's going on? Hey, Brevin, the photographer, man. What is it?
Basically, like if you see me from this interview, just say, hey, I saw you in the interview or something. I don't know. Just say hi.
I like it.
Well, yeah. I'll say hi when I see you in about probably 3 minutes when I go downstairs, because it is 8 billion degrees in my room right now.
I'm not feeling anything, man. My body.
Yeah, it's ice cold down here.
Yeah, Deacon says he regulates heat like no other.
I'm just the same temperature no matter what time of the year it is.
You're just like Michael Myers. You're the shape. You feel nothing.
Michael Myers, man.
Michael Myers.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, Deacon and I have a pretty special guest planned. If you are members of student media or in the media and journalism program, you will know who this person is.
This is an arc.
As soon as you see them and hear their voice. It's a tease. It's not confirmed yet. We've had this in the works for a little while, so be on the lookout for that. Brevin, can't thank you enough. Appreciate all the work
you guys for the opportunity.
Appreciate you for doing the dishes. Can't say the same for a lot of other people.
Oh man, yeah. Do your chores, everyone. If you got roommates, man, don't worry about it. It's not that hard. You just put in a podcast for 5 minutes and pull your weight.
Pull your weight.
Pull your weight.
Easy.
All right, guys. Thank you, Brevin. Thank you. Student Media Podcast here signing off.